for now, let's say hello to the man that we just saw. I do believe Demetrious Johnson is here in a fantastic studio. What is going on over here? I mean, the fact that our guest has a better setup than me is a little bit embarrassing to a degree. Where are you right now? Are you in like a recording studio, DJ? What is going on over here?
This is my streaming room. So right
Jeez
now,
Louise.
I'm actually working on another studio. So this is kind of like my recording studio, my gaming studio, and where I record all my stuff for the Goatcast, obviously.
Shout out.
But yeah, this is where we're at right now.
Bro, I saw your video with Henry Cejudo, that Benedict Arnold, that turncoat, no big deal. And it looks like you are in my house when you're recording this. Like the camera quality is the greatest camera quality that I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like it. Both of you look like you are actually in my house. How are you doing this?
One of the things that Warren Buffett has always said, you invest in yourself. And so for me, I've always loved videography, photography. So I bought a cinema level camera. It's a Sony FX. And obviously your boy, Michael Wanzover, he's super talented and we work together. And, he's kind of taught me everything I know about lighting and all that stuff. Like this camera right here, the Logitech C3 is not a very good camera. Like I have a Sony Alpha 6300. That's really good, but that's hooked up to this computer. So, I mean, this is kind of like where all the magic happens for my YouTube channel. Anything that I'm recording anything like that, it happens in this studio. I have another one being built right now, 2 doors down, I guess you can say.
Unbelievable. What a setup. I feel like a real schmuck listening to all of this. But in any event, great to see you and great to see that you're in good spirits. Happy belated birthday. Are you feeling
Thank
okay?
you.
Is everything all right?
Yeah. I got sick, man. Like it's the second time I've gotten sick in Mexico. Typically we do all inclusive. Sometimes, we went to St. Martin for my son's birthday. Absolutely amazing food, amazing people out there. And the food was just amazing. It wasn't all inclusive. So every meal you're getting, they're cooking fresh, right? It's not, sit underneath, a light or whatever you want to call it. This hotel we went to, man, I'll tell you what, my buddy, we went out to dinner one night. My boy's dinner was a fucking TV dinner. He had mashed potatoes, a ribeye, and it looked pitiful. They burnt the pasta. And I was like, how do you burn pasta? So I told the wife, I was like, babe, I think I'm done with all-inclusive hotels or vacations. Like I worked extremely hard. I am going to go to vacations where I'm going to pay for every single meal. I'm okay with that.
Right.
So yeah, so I got sick. And we left the next day. I was like, I'm not going to play this game. We left, got home, got on some medication, and now I'm feeling much better. I just got done working out, lifting weights, and we'll see. We'll see how the body reacts for day one of medication.
If you don't mind me asking, what I found so fascinating about this was to break the fourth wall. You were supposed to be on the show on Monday, and then I woke up to a text from you saying, "I'm flying home. I'm leaving," because you were kind enough to join us from vacation, and then I'm leaving. I'm like, wait, you're leaving because you're sick, and you're like, yeah, I don't F around. I get sick, I'm out. So you had a whole vacation plan. You just bolted because you got sick.
Fuck yeah! So this isn't the first time I got sick. I've been sick. I've been sick before with tummy issues. Like I battled SIBO in 2019, so I know when I have like a bacterial infection in my stomach. I just know. I've been on when I fought, Tatsumi Wada and Denny Kingdad. I just finished my rounds of antibiotics when I fought what's his name? Tatsumi Wada. So I know what it's like to be on long string of antibiotics. And I know what happens when my stomach gets hit with bacteria. So I was like, dude, I'm sick. I've been shitting 5 times, explosive, water fountain diarrhea in my butt. I was like, I have a bacterial infection. We need to get the hell out of Dodge. So my wife's like, we don't play games. She goes, I wish we had a private fucking jet because I would love to fly home right now. But I'm not on that level of financial. So we booked a flight, left the next day, and it was worth it. 100% worth it.
Refund? Do you get a refund?
Nah, I didn't ask for a refund.
Fuck it. All right. Well, as long as you're happy with it.
Fuck it.
But by the way, what I was concerned about was the flight. Like, there's nothing worse than having to go to bathroom on the plane. How was that troublesome?
No. I was by then. I was kind of smart with it, so I went before I jumped on the plane, and then we had a layover in LA, and then so we made it. Worked out
You're
just
good.
fine.
All right, perfect. I'm glad to hear. Okay, so a lot of, by the way, DJ, like you don't have a fight booked, right? I even saw you say like you're not even thinking about fighting right now. Is this all accurate? There's nothing going on at the moment, correct?
Nothing going on right now.
But very much in the news you are, which I think is fantastic. You got this new show. I was joking about the Henry thing. You kind of no sold me on that. Still love Henry.
Yeah.
Will always love Henry, even though he,
We're going,
he booked.
I gotta fix that bullshit. If anything, I'll bring you on our show. I'll bring you on our show. Like now, Henry, talk to this
No,
man
no,
face to face.
I would love
Talk to
to.
him.
I'll come on anytime. Here's the problem. His daddy won't let him have me on.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, his daddy has no say so. What goes on in the Goat Cast, right? This is me and Henry. It's me and Henry's show, right? So for us, we want to give the fans, an insight of how we think when we break down fights, not just UFC, but one championship, Bellator, boxing. You got Dylan Dennis fighting uh,
Logan
Logan.
Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul. Logan Paul. We want to just break down all the fights. And I think one of the things that we're talking about, and I sent all the stuff to the producer, Michael, and I'm like, dude, I think it's kind of fascinating to see that, Nate Diaz technically made 20 million fighting Jake Paul. And it's like, dude, that's absolutely amazing. This guy made 20 million more than his whole entire UFC career. If the numbers are true, right? If numbers are true, then that's absolutely amazing. Like, give our insight on that to let, the people, the public know, like when an athlete gets the opportunity to do that, they take it. And they don't, if Nate Diaz was to take 8 million of that, 8 million of that, pay his taxes. So let's say he pays taxes in his management. He has 10 million left. Let's say he takes 5 million of that and puts it in something that's going to give him a dividend of 5, or let's just go 10%. That's extremely high. So I'll say 3 to 5 is better. 10% of 5 million, that's like 500K a year doing nothing, if my math's correct, right? So that's life-changing money right there. It's the same thing Conor McGregor did when he fought Floyd Mayweather. He took some of that money, rolled it in the proper whiskey. Now he's got the proper apple. Now he's got the Irish Forge stout. I mean, he don't have to fight, right? He doesn't have to fight. He just sit back, keep on making the money. Those are the opportunities that every athlete is looking for. Francis Ngannou is about to have it with Tyson Fury. So that's the stuff we want to talk about, in the Go Cast. And
I love it.
Aljamain Sterling is talking about going up to, he's tired of cutting weight, right? He's like, I'm done cutting weight. Tell you right now, your boy right here is walking around and,
yes,
150 this morning. I'm like, do I want to go back to 135? What the fuck I look like? I've been working my ass off to put this weight on, this muscle on. It's like, I have no interest losing this weight. So just all types of stuff we want to talk about in this show.
Okay, this is all tremendous. I have like 4 follow-ups from just that alone.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, baby.
How do you feel about the fact that these guys are making this money, but not in MMA? MMA stars are making this money, but not in the sport in which they are known for. It's all these examples are in other sports. Well, boxing.
I think I've never been inside a boxing negotiation whatsoever, right? So this would be something I would love to hear from Tyron Woodley, Nate Diaz,
Francis.
We obviously know who? Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
Francis. So we obviously know, me, Henry, every mixed martial artist out there knows what, UFC, One Championship, PFL, Bellator, those contracts look like, right? But we've never actually got the inside look of like when Nate Diaz comes to the table, Jake Paul's on the other side and he goes, hey, Nate Diaz, hey, this is what I want, da-da-da-da. We don't know how those negotiations go down. So for me, I think it's awesome. It's amazing. I would love to know how that happens, right? Like, why do they get more when it comes to boxing instead of mixed martial arts, right? So that's a mystery to me, but I would love to know how it all happens.
To boil it down to its simplest point, the promotion takes less. In MMA, the promotions take more. In boxing, the fighters get more, at least the top dogs, right? And so that's really what, like, that's why Nate having his real Fight Inc. and Jake having his MVP, like, they get.
I mean, I know how it all goes down, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that Matt Hume's always told me. He goes, what the champions need in mixed martial arts is the Muhammad Ali Act, right? Where let's say me and Aljo wanted to fight, right? You have Mighty Mouse MMA LLC, you have Funk Master LLC. Me and him are pretty much we are the athletes. Me and him come together, goes, hey, Me and Aljo want to fight. Who wants to host it? You have UFC One Championship, Bellator, PFL, all the bigger Showtime, HBO Max, or whatever.
Yeah.
HBO is like, dude, we want this fight. We'll pay you both $10 million, and then you got Cinemax and shit. Is Cinemax even around anymore? I don't know.
I don't know if
It has
it's
some
around,
good.
but I get what you're saying. It's HBO
Yeah,
Max,
yeah.
or it's
So,
just Max now.
yeah, Max. So each of these companies get to basically lobby to whoever wants to fight more and pays us the more DAZN. And then me and Aljo could sit there like, hey, this one sounds good. Let's do 20. They're gonna pay us 20. You take 10 to 10, and we'll figure out the rest. That's how it truly happens. But when you're a mixed martial artist, you're locked under the contract, right? Like if I got an offer from, let's say Jake Paul's promotion, he goes, hey, I want you on an undercard. We're gonna pay you $6 million, X, Y, and Z. I can't do that because I am contractually obligated under one championship that I can't go do that. I'm sure if I asked Chachi, he's like, hey man, let me go do this. Chachi's like, yeah, we'll work something out. We'll let you go do it. But I have to ask for permission instead of if I was my own entity, which we technically are as a subcontractor, but you have a contract with, your promotion, I can just do whatever I want. So that's one of the things I love about Eddie Alvarez. Eddie says, once I sign a contract, I try to figure out the fastest way to get a free agent. And then I try to sign one deal contracts because I believe in myself. I bet on myself. And I was like, damn, Eddie, you're right. I need to believe in myself too. So yeah, but
how many fights you have left with one, by the way?
I don't know. The championship clause, it gets extended. So I have no idea.
Okay. So no free agency anytime soon.
No. Like I said, I think I haven't sparred mixed martial arts since May, maybe March, April, maybe April. Yeah, April was probably the last time I did any sparring in mixed martial arts whatsoever.
I threw out a joke. Speaking of these crossover fights, there's a boxer named Naoya Inoue. Are you familiar with this guy?
Oh yeah. He just knocked out somebody out. And you
Stephen
said
Fulton.
Yeah. You said you should fight him. I was like, gee, it's like, yeah.
Have you seen this guy? I mean,
Can I?
No, there's none of that. But man, just like the speed. I was joking a little bit, but like I was just thinking like who's the man at that weight and who's the man in our sport at that weight? That would be insane. But I saw like I was looking at your stories on the night of Jake and Nate, and you did this thing. You were in your living room or something right before I think the last round, the 10th round, and you did this like little quick breakdown of what Nate needs to do. And I was like, this is incredible. First of all, like your speed, you just going like, brrr, but even like the insight that you were sharing. Do you know what I'm talking about? We're showing the video now. Yeah. Here you are. Yeah. And the stuff is amazing. For those that may have missed it, we're just going to show it while you speak. But like you're talking about what Nate should do. What could he have done differently in your opinion? Here you are kind of mimicking him, but what could he have done differently to maybe try and pull off that upset?
Well, right here, this is me what Jake Paul should have done better, right? Because Nate Diaz was coming right forward, and Jake Paul was doing a good job landing an uppercut, but he never followed up with the uppercut, right? And right there, I've had amazing coaches in my mixed martial arts career, and so that's just me showing like Jake Paul should have like pop and move to the angle, and then Nate Diaz is blind, and then he can make Nate Diaz turn into a right hand. And then the other side is I'll show what Nate Diaz was doing is Nate Diaz was doing a good job pressuring Jake Paul, but he wasn't, throwing any stink behind his punches. He was doing more of the pity pat and not really, boom, like shifting his weight over. And one of the things, and this is just my upbringing, bringing with Matt Hume. Matt Hume goes, okay, this guy is not athletic. This guy is athletic. Look the way he shifts his weight. That's an athlete who's explosive and you just and shift this weight. That's just my boxing training when I've done, boxing. And those are the things you don't see really when you see Nate and Jake Paul fight. Like, I think Eddie Hearn said it best. He was like, that fight wasn't, me and here we talked about too. It's like, for me to go into boxing, I respect boxing so much that I know what it takes to be a very good boxer, to shift my weight a certain way. When I throw my punches are just set up my knees, my shot, my kicks, my elbows. So for me to go from mixed martial arts to boxing, I would probably take literally maybe a solid year to make sure when I go, I want to make sure I am. Those are the things I'm seeing. Even though Jake Paul has been boxing for so long, he still makes amateur mistakes, and his fundamentals, the way he throws his punches, aren't honestly, amateur. His jab is good. He does some things right, but there's still amateur things he does that it's like, dude, like if I was your coach, I'm like, dude, that shit's garbage. Shit's garbage. Shit is garbage. Like, let's get you throwing a hook correctly. Let's get you like, let's build your intelligence, right? Like you're making all this money. That's great. But do you want to be a legit boxer or do you want to just keep making all this fucking money boxing? Like what do you want to do? And if I was coach, like, hey, this is how you need to read your opponent. You see Nate going like this all the time. You need to step back, pop up, and look. He's gonna swing. There's your right hand. You throw punches to create the opening instead of trying to look for the opening. You're never gonna find the opening because you're looking for it. You gotta pop, 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 pop. That's your opening right there. So I don't know. He's got great coaches, but for me as an analyst, an athlete, those are the things I see. And that was just a little breakdown that I like to do. But you break shit down. People are like, oh, you talking shit. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, dude, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time when I fight. I've been knocked out, but I've also done a lot of amazing things in my career.
For sure. By the way, is there something to be said for just like the age at which he picked this all up? Like, is it almost maybe impossible for him? No?
No, because Jake Paul never went through the broke athlete phase. When I mean broke athlete phase is that when I was a professional athlete, I was working 40 hours a week, driving to the gym, doing CrossFit, driving to the gym. He's never had to go through that broke phase. He came to the sport with money. So he's got the best access to the best trainers, best nutritionists, best of whatever he needs. It's just him taking the time of like, hey, I'm going to work on this and going to get actual rounds, joining a gym and doing classes and going to actual boxing gym. It's like, hey guys, we're going to spar. I want you guys to beat my ass. No ego here. Let's go. Like, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Right. I don't know if he's going through that. Right. He might say he is, but I find that very hard to believe because some of these guys get egos and they don't want none of that stuff to get out. But it's like, dude, just go out there and just go to the gym and take classes. How to go 1, 2, 3, tap, 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 cross, take the angle, 6-3, another angle, body shot up. You watch your opponent, he swings, boom, you hit him. I don't know if he's doing stuff like that.
I love this shit. I could watch you do this stuff all day. It's so effortless for you. There's something about it that is fascinating. In fact, along those lines, a video surfaced yesterday of Terrence Crawford. You know Terrence Crawford, right? Arguably the best boxer on the planet. Did you see this video of him wrestling out on the lawn? Did. Could we play this video and you just break down this man's skills? This is Terrence Bud Crawford, whose sons wrestle, who has a bit of wrestling in his background, just messing around. This is the best boxer on the planet. What is he doing right here? What is he doing wrong?
So he's basically keeping the right distance. He has that collar tie, and he's keeping his balance very well. And then, so that guy got in on an underhook, and right there, that guy tried to go for a sweep as well. But Terrence he has great balance, right? His balance has never been compromised, but he has never taken an actual shot to compromise his balance. So right now, he's just doing a good job of keeping his balance. Like his posture's not broke. The other guy's posture is way broke because he's trying to initiate. But if I was the other guy, he needs to do better hand fighting. Terrence is controlling the hand fighting way better. And his posture, and he's throwing a shoulder in there. See, now Terrence trying to go there, and boom. See right there, Terrence, if you were to step in deep. But yeah, his balance is way better than the other guy. Way better. Way better.
Does this surprise you?
No, he's athletic. He understands balance. Like half, as they say in the gym, we call that black addicts. It's a black man that's athletic. That's what they call it in the gym. But he understands balance. But like to what the other guy needs to do, he needs to disturb Terrence's balance, right? He's not disturbing his balance. And he needs to hand fight more, arm drag, pull Terrence's head down. He's never pulling Terrence's head down whatsoever. Like Terrence's posture is always good right there. His balance is great. That's a person who's got great balance. That's why the gentleman's having a hard time getting him, because his balance has never been compromised.
This is great shit. This is the type of shit that I want to see from you and Henry Cejudo, breaking this type of stuff down. But come on, like for boxers don't know how to do this stuff. This is very rare for a boxer of his caliber to even know these types of fundamentals. Would you not say?
Well, he's one of the best in the world, so I'm sure he's done some type of form of. You said his kids wrestle?
Yeah, his kids wrestle.
Yeah, so I'm sure him and his kids have played. And so when you're around it and you see it, and it's like, hey, I keep my balance, right? Keep my balance. I was working with a gentleman at the gym, and I said, I saw him, he's doing all this cage fighting. He was like, this. He was doing all this cage fighting. I was like, what the hell are you doing? He goes, I'm trying to fight off the cage. I was like, take me down. And I was just like this. You take me down yet? Take me down. Take me down. And he couldn't take me down. And he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just keeping my balance. I was like, once you compromise my balance, I will address my balance. Then once I address my balance, then I'll go back to just chilling. Let you burn all this energy. And then when you burn on your energy, here comes a knee to the liver, here comes an elbow, and then I'm gonna shift level. So it's just years of me training with Matt and now training with Professor John, understanding the way the body moves and judo, jiu-jitsu, and the gi, just yeah. So it's just years of training.
8-10 months. Can Jake Paul beat Nate Diaz in an MMA fight?
No. All Nate has to do is go down there pro guard, and then Jake Paul's in no man's land, right? I know Jake Paul, he's athletic, he can wrestle, but mixed martial arts is totally different. It's totally different.
All right, so you're not crossing over to boxing anytime soon. By the way, is that like a bucket list thing for you, or like you don't have to?
I like having all my tools. Like I feel that's one piece of the game that I love the kick, I love the knee, I love the wrestle, I love to clinch. So for me, when I saw Luke Rocco's fight Mike Perry, I was like, dog, you just trade in your best fucking weapons. That beautiful question mark kick you got, that jiu-jitsu you got, you just trade that shit in for just your hands. You fucking crazy.
And he's going up against Craig Jones in Israel, of all places, next month. Did you see that?
I did. It's a grappling match, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got GSP about to grapple. I mean, it's good, right? Like, why not?
Exactly. And that leads me to you, because you announced recently that you're going to be competing in the 2023 IBJJF Masters World Championship in Las Vegas, August 31st to September 2nd. You're competing. Is this the first? By the way, this is correct. Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
A, why are you doing this? And B, when's the last time, if ever, you competed in a high level competition like this, as far as grappling is concerned?
So for people out there, this would be my first time ever competing at a level.
Wow.
Last time I done a jiu-jitsu tournament I was 18 years old.
Wow. That is wild. You just turned 37, right? It's almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. So for me, the reason why, one, my son does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He loves it. He's going to be down there competing. And he asked me, he goes, Dad, why don't you compete? And I was like, why don't I? And so, I try to do it under the radar. I signed up, didn't tell anybody. There was only a couple people who knew: my wife, Professor Jan, and Matt knew that I was going to be doing it. And then next thing you know, I'm doing an interview, and then it blasts out. And Destiny goes, "What'd you think was going to happen, babe? You have to understand, you're not just a normal athlete. You're not just a normal athlete. You didn't think people were going to find out." And I was like, honestly, I was hoping I was going to show up to the tournament, just jump on this, thinking like, Demetrious Johnson, like, what the fuck's he doing here? I'm like, just want to grapple, see how I do, see where I'm at. So yeah, I mean, it's a challenge. It's a 38-man bracket. So I'll probably get 5 to 6 matches. So I'm excited, man. I haven't felt butterflies, anxiousness in a very, very long time. Very long time.
Really? Even after the Rice knockout, all that?
Oh, yeah.
Raw Tang?
Yeah. I mean, Raw Tang, I got anxious and, butterflies. And then the second Mariah's fight, I felt like once I hit the Raw Tang fight, I felt like I hit a new level of like my vision and like being in the moment, like being there. And then Mariah's fight, like when I, hit him and I saw him fall down, I was like, oh shit, I know what this is. Oh, blah, through the knee. I was like, yeah. And I walked off. And then the third fight was like, okay, here we are. We're here again. Blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Got it. You always shooting. No, look at you cheating, grabbing the inside of my glove. Look at you. And then, I'll knee him and I look at Matt like, he didn't like that, did he? I'm like at a level where it's like, I don't know. It's just like I'm at a different level where I can see things as they break down now. So in the past, like I'll just black out. I remember what happens, but I wasn't in the pilot seat. That makes sense. It was all reaction and, training. Now it's like nah, I'm in there. Like it's me fighting. So with jujitsu, it's a little bit different because I want to see where I'm at. And then when I jumped in the gi, it was for me to take away my athletic ability and learn how to deal with the grips and use the grips. And I feel this is the only way for me to see where I'm at by going to Master Worlds and just to see where I'm at. Like it's like, hey, it's 38-man bracket. I'm go out there, do my best, and yeah, see what happens.
And what is the age? Like, how
So
old do you
I
have to be
missed,
to enter this?
yeah. So I'm Masters 2. I missed the adult one. Adult is 18 to 30, right? So
Okay.
that happened in July, and I didn't know about that one. So this one, I believe the cutoff is once you hit 30 years old, you're considered Masters one. And I think it was from 30 to maybe 34 is Master one. And then from Masters two is 35 to maybe 38. Then it goes there, then there, then there, then there.
Okay.
So that cut off. But my goal is potentially next year, how I feel, I might try to do the 18 to 30 years old, the adult, just to see where I'm at. Right. Like as an
Wait, but how could
athlete,
you do
in
18 to 30 if you're 37?
you can still enter. Oh, that's right. You can still enter that, but I have to go around and gather points. So I'll have to
Oh, okay.
travel to different
Wow.
what I've been told, you have to have points in order to get there. When you're a masters, you don't need points. You just get to walk right in and you're competing with other people around there. So I'm still getting new information about how all this world works, I guess you can say. But yeah, so that's how it works as far as I know.
By the way, gi or no gi?
I'm a gi guy. Like no gi
Okay.
for me is like the stuff that you can do in gi is just absolutely amazing. Amazing. Like the shit I learned the other day, you know, Professor Yama was like, okay, if he's going to grab his gi, you can lock his hand down, jump around and choke him out with the lapel. And then if he's going to defend that, then you can do a bolo and get his back. And then you have this arm locked. And I'm just like, dude, this is like, I love the complexity of what the gi brings to the game to where when I am in no gi, I am so athletic, I can just shut shit down where it's like, even, guys who are 185, I'm like, you can't pass my guard because you can't grab handles, you can't grab my legs. I can just move underneath you. So the gi just brings so much more complexity to the game that I am fascinated by.
And are you aware of any other famous fighters or anything in your 38-man bracket?
No, I have no.
You know, like, do you even know who you're facing?
Nope. And I love it.
You love it. No prep, no homework, no
Nope.
tape study.
Nope.
Why do you love that? Fresh?
The reason why I love that is because it tests the true martial artist. And what I mean by
Mm.
that, when I was an amateur in mixed martial arts, Matt was like, hey, we got to fight in 2 months against this guy. Will we go out there and surf the internet and try to find information on how he fights? No, right? Now the amateurs, right? They're like, oh, I'm fighting this guy in 2 months. I'm going to look at all this information and break him down and all that stuff. I was like, you're a fucking amateur. You're an amateur. This is the time where you learn how to address certain situations under the pressure. And so for me, that was one of the things I hated about fighting, professionally. It's like, hey, you're fighting Adriano again, right? For the third time. And I felt that it stopped my growth as an athlete. And people were like, why do you say that? And I was like, because you're fixated on one person for 8 weeks on how you're going to beat this person instead of like, I'm just going to grow as a martial artist in 8 weeks and whatever he brings to the table, I should be able to address that. So for me, going to the tournament, it's like, I don't care who I'm going against. I got to make sure my balance is good, my cardio is good, and I don't make any mistakes. I should be able to beat everybody in the world that way. And if I get exposed to something new, then I have to address that. And then I go back to the office and be like, hey, I got caught in this worm guard. How do we address the worm guard? Or we got caught in, the spider guard. How do we address that? So when I go out and I train with different people in the E, I roll with this I think he was like 210-pound black belt. Holy shit.
Whoa.
He put me in some stuff. I was like, what the fuck? And he goes, I'm also bigger. I'm longer. So I can, do certain things to you. But it's exposure that he did to me that it's like, okay, I've been exposed to that. How do I deal with this? So that's my rant on like why I feel a lot of athletes don't get good anymore is because they're so fixated on, oh, I'm about to fight this guy. Let's just watch tape for 8 months and see what he does well. Then we'll just, do X, Y, and Z, and we should beat him. Instead of like, okay, this is where we're fighting. We're not going to watch any tape. We're just going to be the best, Demetrious Johnson 8 weeks out or fight night.
Right. So no tape study, going up against guys who are over 200 pounds. It feels to me like you're also preparing for the Bradley Martyn super fight here, because what is going on here? Can you explain to me what's going on here? Because there I am on Instagram, and the Sports Center page is posting like this thing that has like 500,000 views on it of you and Brad. What is? I'll be honest with you, and I'm not like, people thought I was playing some sort of character when I was talking about Bryce Hall on Monday, the TikTok guy who had a BKFC fight. I'm honestly not aware of these characters, and I'm not trying to make myself seem like the old guy or above them. So Bradley Martyn, I think I first found out about him with the Nate clip where he was talking about a street fight with Nate, and then I see something with you, and the thing with you seems to have gathered a lot of steam. Is this actually happening, you versus Bradley Martyn?
So then I'll break down the full what's going on. So
okay.
I never knew who Bradley Martyn was until Brendan Schaub did that interview with him. And, he has this thing where he goes, I bet you I'd be in a street fight. Let's stop right there. A street fight. What is technically a street fight? Ask yourself that. Everybody out there who's watching this, ask yourself, what is a street fight? I know what a street fight is. A street fight is anything goes. I had a buddy who got jumped by 5 fucking dudes. Guess what he carries on him now? He pulled his shirt up and he had 2 fucking daggers in his butt line. I said, dude, what is that? He goes, I got jumped. He goes, I wish a motherfucker would try to fight me in a street fight. They're getting they're getting jabbed up. Or is a person carrying a gun? Does he have a bat? Like, what is technically, like, in the realm of a street fight, what is a street fight? So I think that's a good question for Bradley Martyn to answer, because he asked everybody, you think you beat me in a street fight? What is a street fight? Okay, move forward. So Brendan Schaub says you can't, beat the elites of, the smaller people. I truly believe that. I've seen Bibiano Fernandez, which is the 135-pound champ, former champ. I've seen him roll up Tim Boetsch. Tim Boetsch is a big gentleman. I think he was probably like 215 when they grappled, and he rolled him the fuck up because the technique, and he knows how to move the body. So when I heard this, I said, dude, I told Brandon messaged me. He goes, hey man, I hope it's okay. I kind of brought you into this, debate. I was like, yeah, dude, it's all good. And I was like, dude, I'll come down there and grapple him. Like, I have no problem going down there, grappling him and showing him what's up. And he goes, okay, I'm gonna let him know. So Brandon goes back and tells him, he goes, hey, I talked to Mighty Mouse. He said he's down. He's got a couple things to take care of first, which I do. I was just in Mexico. I have Worlds. I have Bibiano's gym. His gym is opening. So I have other prior obligations I want to attend to first. But I would love to go down there and just grapple him. It's no animosity. It's like, hey, dude, Demetrious Johnson, Bradley Martyn, let's go. Come on. Show me what you got, big man, big muscle man. What you fucking gonna do, mate? You do fucking nothing, mate. Just go out there and play. Now, everybody and their fucking mom has taken it to a level. Oh, they about to fight. If it was an MMA fight, dog, I'm fucking your liver up. I hope you spear tackle me, because then you just cross all the distance. You're in my clinch. You're in my elbows. You're in my grappling realm. Like, you see Shane Willie pick up French Nagano. He's 293, right? Okay. All right. I'm a fucking man, right? And I weigh 150 pounds. You can be 260. I can still pick you up because I know how to get underneath my hips and lift up. So what turned to be, and it still might, right? Everybody wants to get their hands on it. You got my good friend Henry Cejudo saying, DJ Demetrious, you got to get paid, man. It's all good and stuff, but you got to secure the bag, brother. You got everybody and their mom try to get hands on it. So it's like, it almost turns into something that was supposed to be fun. Now it's just like blowing out of proportion. So we'll see what happens. I know it's going to happen, right? I want it to happen. It's just finding the right way to navigate it. And yeah.
I mean, we're looking at the tail of the tape right now. It's ridiculous. You're 5'3", he's 6'3". You say you weigh 150. He's like 260 something. It's absolutely absurd. Although I would bet my entire life savings on you in whatever.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Why?
You put it in the S&P 500 and you'll make. Because anything can happen. You know, he can spirit
No
talk to me. I blow my
chance.
fucking rib. I
There's
mean,
no chance.
the biggest thing about this whole logistics is proving that just because you're big doesn't mean you can beat somebody who's smaller. Yes, if I wasn't a trained athlete, then yeah, he would absolutely destroy me. But I've been spending the last 18 years, not 18, 20 years of my fucking life dealing with people who are bigger than me, right? Like, it's like, this is like my realm I deal with every single day of my life. When was the last time he wrestled somebody who's fucking 300 pounds or 280, 290? He hasn't. I dealt with this my whole entire life. So when somebody says, I'm bigger than you, I can beat you, I'm like, okay, I just dealt with this 2 days ago. Come on, let's see what you can do. So for me, this is like everyday occurrence in my life, right? So
Have you talked to him?
no, I have not talked to him.
No DMs, no nothing.
No. Brennan Schaub is the middleman. He's kind of the promoter in this. So I mean, if you know, that's what I mean. Like, imagine if me, Bradley, and Martyn were our own entities, which we are. If I was like, hey, let's do it on who wants to get this grappling match, right? It's
oh my god, yeah.
So
would
Brennan,
one be
Brennan
okay
Schaub
with you doing this?
Well, see, that's the thing. We got to figure all that out. But for me, that's what I mean. Like, it was supposed to be something fun for just going to grapple. Like, I have no animosity. I'm just trying to prove a point. It's like, hey, you know, Mikey Musumici's beat people. I saw a tournament where he did it in he fought a guy who was like 300 plus pounds and he rolled him up. He beat him, right? Because it's grappling, right? So we'll see. Like, it's going to happen regardless if it's, I want it. It was supposed to happen and just be fun. Now it turns into like a business opportunity where it's like, I never wanted it to be a business opportunity. I wanted to just go out there and prove that smaller people who are trained and athletic can beat somebody who's 260 and lift weights. That's all it was supposed to be. Now you got everybody, mom trying to tune into it.
And so you do think though that it is going to happen come
I don't know.
You just said it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen regardless if it's under any promotion. Like, it does. I'm not looking to gain anything out of this. I'd rather it just be me going down there and grappling him and creating content and then jumping on this podcast. I'm like, yeah, dude, like, you're 260. I'm sure with some training. Or shit, I might get down there and he might just fucking lay on me the whole time. Then I'm like, well, I can't move your big ass weight. Like, I'm just going out there to show something. It was never supposed to be what it is today. Like, when it happened, I was like, hey, I'll come down there and grapple you. Like, I have no problem with that. I have no ego. Like, I'll come down there and grapple you, see what you can do, and then go from there.
It would be fascinating to watch, just given the size difference and your skill set and your, I mean, just like your wealth of knowledge and experience when it comes to this. And then he has the advantage of just being gigantic. So let's see. That would be fascinating. By the way, Aljo, Sean O'Malley, who do you like?
It's hard. Like, that's a fascinating fight. I think Aljo has the advantage of fighting higher caliber athletes. His grappling is, I would give the strength advantage to Aljo. I give the striking advantage or rhythm advantage way more to Sugar Sean O'Malley. So if Aljo walks across distance like he's been doing against everybody else, what he did to Peter Yan, what he's done to Henry Cejudo, when he's done to everybody, which he will do against Sugar Sean O'Malley, he's got to make sure he gets his hands on him. Like, if he tries to make it a kickboxing fight and striking fight, his chance of getting knocked out go up significantly higher, right? But if he goes across the cage and just gets his hands on O'Malley, I haven't seen O'Malley have a good clinch game. He's got some good takedown defense, but, you know, Aljo took down my boy Henry Cejudo. So it's a tough fight. But if I had to pick somebody, like if I was on a desk and I'm like, they have a, you know, so like you have to pick somebody, you're getting fired, I'll probably pick Aljo because he's been through tough fights. Right? I think he's just fought higher caliber guys.
You should be on a desk somewhere. Your insight is amazing. On Friday, Aljamain had a media day at his gym on Long Island, and he was asked about you. I don't know if you if you saw this, but here's the quote. I just wanted to get your response if I could. Someone asked him about fighting you. Quote, he's too little, man. Mighty Mouse is great, but he's too little. There's a reason why he lost to Dominic Cruz. It wasn't skill deficiency, it's size. If size didn't matter, I think skill for skill, he's better than Dom. But when you get a guy who can pick you up and just take you to the ground over and over, I think that's a hard task. He's skilled, but I think Father Time has passed him a little bit. If he wants this work, try to get some revenge for Henry. I can beat your boy too. So Mighty Mouse, where are you at? Your
So
thoughts?
this is what I love about MMA, right? Is because yes, in the past I did have trouble dealing with guys who are bigger than me, right? When I look back on my Dom fight, I felt that I wasn't ready for that fight. Like my skill level now to fighting bigger dudes, like the size of it. I mean, Adrian was 5'9", right? 5'9" or 5'8". I've dealt with
Mm-hmm.
bigger guys, especially fighting in one championship with Tatsumi Tuwada. What's the other gentleman's name? Yuya Wakamatsu and Adriano. I've dealt with the bigger guys. And so now, like Aljo's and other guys, like, dude, let's play spar. Let's come spar. And I would love to grapple you. I love to just move and see how you just do your thing. But I feel his weakness is he has no clinch game. Like I would eat his ass up for breakfast in the clinch game. I feel like rhythm wise, like like that, I move way better than he does in the feet. Grappling, he is longer, so I would never let him get my fucking back because he'll lock them fucking funk master legs up in a body triangle like he did to Peter Yan, and I'll have to survive him doing that. I feel like his shot. I feel like my balance now and my clinch game will give his shot getting close. The one thing he does that helps to my advantage is that he crosses the distance for me, right? He does this shit right here and a funky ass kick. And I'm like, perfect. Come here. I want to show you a thing called Muay Thai clinch. I'm going to show it to you, right? Where it's like, I just feel like I'll eat him alive in the clinch. He is very, very good. Like I told Henry, when me and him are training together, I'm like, Henry, like, Henry loves to play borders, right? When you play borders, you're constantly changing the distance, but you're not getting the angle off him because he comes straight in. I was like, Henry, and me and him, I've been trying to help Henry develop his clinch game. If Henry had a better clinch game in that fight, and if Henry was more savvy and grappled more, when Aljo did that shot and he failed the shot attempt and he stayed down as a grounded opponent and Henry hit his head there, I said, Henry, you circle around that motherfucker and you make him get up. You put your hooks in. You start the grappling exchange. You got to grapple. And so when I went down at Arizona Combat Sport, I was like, Henry, we're gonna spend a day just grappling. Like, let's just grapple. We don't have to worry about borders. We don't have to worry about this stuff. I want you to be ready because it's going to be a grappling match. Don't worry about that. Just get your grappling going, right? So, yeah, I love that fight with me and Aljo. Like, if it was to happen, like, yes, I am 37. I am old now. I understand, but I still feel like my
not that much older than him, by the way. Not that just a few years older than him. I think 3 or so.
Oh, okay, yeah. So his ass getting old too. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that he poses a threat to my game is one, his size, which I've dealt with in the past, and just him being long. And if he got on my back, I would be in trouble. Like I told Henry, I was like, Henry, if he gets your back, you're in fucking trouble. Like he's gonna lock you up. And Henry was like, I'm gonna take the round off, and I'm gonna get back to work in the next round. So, but yeah, I have nothing but respect for Aljo. Love what he's done in his career. I'm happy he's finally get the shine that he's getting now because he's worked extremely hard. He's been very humble. He's done the right thing. He's passed all his drug tests. Yeah, I'm excited for him and Sugar Sean O'Malley Saturday night.
Do you think he can be successful at 145?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he beat Bulk. I think Bulk is probably right now one of the best fighters who's just like every single time he fights, I'm like, he's getting better. He's getting better. He's getting better. Like his IQ is extremely high and he's super athletic too.
Last time, by the way, that we spoke, you said, and I'll let you go in a second. You said that you're thinking about retirement, this, that, and the. It's been a few months. Have you thought more about the end? Any sort of? Oh, you have.
Yeah, I thought about more. Right now, it's just something that it hasn't interested me. Right, like I said, I haven't sparred since April. Yeah, April. And that's how I do my fight camps. It's like I don't need to spar. I'm not gonna go spar. I'm not gonna go train. I'm just so focused on grappling and grappling in general that I don't know if MMA has been exciting me lately. So we'll see. I haven't made an official decision, but I've been still pondering. It's like I just not it's not exciting. Yeah, it's just not exciting to me right now. And I don't want to fight just to make money because as I talk to GSP, he says, Demetrious, there's always going to be another guy. There's plenty of ways to make money. Plenty of ways. So I had my talk with him and picked his brain and he could have still compete. So I'm still sitting down, digesting it. Right now, it's I'm gonna do worlds. Then I'm gonna sit back after worlds. I'm like, hey, what do I want to do? Right? I'm still healthy. Do I want to do another mixed martial arts fight? Do I want to keep on competing in the gi? So right now, even after I fought Adrian Marias, I told myself, okay, I'm going to start lifting, up my calorie intake, up my protein, and I want to walk around about 148, 150 because the weight class I'm going into is 154. I could have gone 141, but I'm like, I'm tired of fucking cutting weight. Like, I'm always cutting weight. I've been cutting weight since I was in middle school. I'm done. Like, I'm stopping my body growing into a man. So once I beat Adrian on the third time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start lifting weights. And then I started lifting weights, kept on eating, started putting 150 grams of protein in my body, carbs through the roof, the fats. And then now it's like, no, I didn't even have to try. I wake up like 149. I'm like, hell yeah, hell yeah. So we'll see, man. Like it's not official, but it's right now. My focus is on gi grappling and worlds. After that, we'll sit down with the wife. I'm like, hey, you know, what do you think? And the thing that makes me not mad, it's just that I don't need to fight. I don't want to fight for money. If it doesn't appeal to me, then it's like, I'm good. And then the only time somebody, and I'll say this, the matchmaker did ask me, he goes, what fight excites you right now? I was like, Aljamain Sterling. He goes, well, that'll never happen. I was like, well, there's a complexity to his game that I feel like I can solve it. And he's the big dog over here in America. I'm the big dog over in Asia. So a lot of people think I've retired already because they haven't seen my fights in one championship. So for me, it's like that's a big dog here in this yard. He's a big dude. He gets to 185, 170, whatever how fat he gets. And it's like I'd love to have that. If that was brought to me as an opportunity, it would like, okay, that's a problem that I feel like I can solve. That I would love to solve. I would put myself through a training camp for that fight, right? But as time goes on, it goes on, it goes on. I get more pulled away from mixed martial arts for my project, the Goat Cast, other projects that going on. It's like I don't need to do mixed martial arts. I'm more focused on these projects because I can do these projects till I'm 85 or 90. My window of opportunity of fighting is slowly closing. And there's so much fucking red tape and other stuff you have to go through just to make it happen. As far as the Bradley Martyn is like, I was just going to book a ticket to Calabasas. You got Henry like, no, dog, you got to get paid. It's like, I just want to fucking go do things. Like, so that's what excites me about the grappling tournament because it's like, it's just something I can just go do and then come back home and do my own thing. There's no buildup. There's no media tour. There's none of this other stuff. So, but yeah, I'm going to stop there. I can go on all day.
Is there a chance though that you have fought your last MMA fight?
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Wow.
Yeah,
where would you put that at right now? If 100% is you're done, where are you at right now in terms of not fighting ever again?
Let's just say this. When I told people that this could be my last fight against Adrian Marias, I was not bullshitting. That was not no tactic to get people to watch. Like I was dead ass serious. Like the amount of how much I trained for that fight and then coming out for the walkout and having my kids there and the emotions I had, hearing all my name being chanted. And I'm just like, dude, like this is a huge emotional, like, ugh. And I told myself, I need to force myself that, yes, I can keep on fighting and make lots of money, but I need to force myself to find other ways to make money. I'm relying on my body to make money, right? And I told myself, I was like, I need to figure out another way to make money, right? And I was laying in bed and I was like, if I had $5 million in the bank account, this is during the Adrian camp. I love how Dana White says, oh man, if an athlete's thinking about retiring, he should just fucking retire. Like, I was early in bed and I was like, if I had $5 million in cash, would I fight Adrian Marias? I was like, No, I don't really need to. I don't really care to. I just, yeah. And so, but I still went through the camp. I still trained, showed up, did all the work, went out there, beat him. And then after the fight, I was like, okay, I guess that was it. All right, let's figure out something else. Ooh, jiu-jitsu sounds fun. Can I gain, 8 pounds or 10 pounds of muscle? I'm gonna find out. Let's see. So I've been on this journey of this journey. So we'll see where my journey is after this grappling tournament, and then we'll go from there.
I hope you don't think I'm fishing, and I'm really trying not to
No,
like pry.
no, no, no,
And
no.
I've kept you way too long here. But the thing is, DJ, that I don't even know you understand. You're one of the top 5 greatest fighters in the history of MMA, and I feel like you're just casually telling us, even more so than you did back in April, that this could be it for you. In just like a throwaway last question of this interview, and I feel like my head is like the emoji with the fire coming out of it. I'm like, is DJ retiring in front of us here? What's going on?
No,
Like
no, no, no,
this
no, no,
feels a
no,
lot
no.
more definitive. It feels a lot more definitive than in April, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. No, when I officially retire, I mean, there's so much stuff I can just that I haven't fully divulged yet. But when I
Oh, I can't
officially
wait.
do it, like I'll give every ounce of it and like why I'm deciding to do that. But I
Okay.
like to leave the door open just because just in case something comes in front of me that seems interesting, that it's okay. I would love to do that. Like let's fucking do it. Even my wife is the same way. She's like, I support whatever you want to do. Like you can fight again. But she was like, I have my husband. You're 37. You can walk. You're healthy. You have no brain trauma. You're still beautiful. Like I don't want to see my husband get you made
Yeah.
out, right? And I even talked to Matt about this, share my feelings, and we've had good discussions too. So it just comes a part in a time in an athlete's career that you have these discussions, you have these talks, and I've had these thoughts even before fighting Adriano the third time. It's just why do I have to keep? It's just a lot of stuff. So
I get it.
yeah, but you're not
Is
prying. I'm
there
just being straight. Go ahead.
No, and I appreciate it immensely. Is there a point where you say, like, come 38, I have to make a decision? Like, I don't want to be out for too long, or will it just all be a feeling thing? If it comes to,
It would just be a feeling game because all through I know that I will never lose. Uh, like I talked to another athlete. He goes, dude, how do you go so long without sparring? He goes, I feel like if I don't spar, I feel like I lose my step. And I was like, then you got to find that balance. But all through COVID-19, I didn't train at all, and then I was like at maybe what 8, 9, 10 months off. So for
Mhm.
me, I'm still working on my craft, if that makes sense. Right? I'm still grappling. I'm still doing all this stuff and working on my game. So it just has to make sense for me to get passion to go in through another 8 to 12 week camp. It has to get me up, right? Like if it
Mhm.
doesn't get me up, then it's not worth my time. I that's just how I feel. Like it's not worth my time. I rather work on YouTube. I rather work on the podcast. I rather work on other stuff than relying on my body to go out there and make a paycheck. That makes sense.
100%. And there's nothing left for you to prove, other than the Naoya Inoue super fight, which would be a great, challenge for you. Well,
Oh
that is
Lord.
fascinating stuff. That is fascinating stuff. I've kept you way too long. Thank you so much, as always. This was tremendous. Happy belated birthday. Hope you feel better. Good luck in just a couple of weeks' time in Las Vegas. And you did say one time, you're going to retire. When you retire, you're going to do it, in a coffee shop, telling your wife, "That's it, we're done." You're going to do it as Eddie Alvarez told you he would do it. But please do come on the show as well and talk to us about it. Okay. Now that you got your own podcast, don't be one of those guys who's like, "Oh, I got my own show. I don't have to go on other people's shows." All right. Don't be that guy. All right.
No, 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 no. I'll suit it. Like I said, when I was in New York with you, like me
Yeah.
having an opportunity to come on your show and just speak where our mindset is at, promote, the GoCast. Everybody out there, make sure you go follow the GoCast, the first
For
podcast
sure.
where you have so much gold on the mic. Triple C, flyweight champion, defending the belt, bantamweight champion, defending the belt. Do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, he is a gold Olympic medal champion wrestler. Then you have me,
Yes.
moi, 15 times mixed martial arts champion, World Grand Prix champion, longest reigning ever consecutive UFC champion, and also the current one flyweight champion. There has never been so much accolades, credentials under one podcast. Do yourself a favor, go subscribe to the channel. the GOAT cast. Yeah, so I got a lot of shit going on, but I always go on other podcast, not podcasts, but other shows, just promote and just, let people know what I'm thinking.
Much love. Good luck with the show. You guys are doing great stuff. Good luck with the competition. Thanks as always, DJ. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it, man. Oh, next episode is this Monday, August 21st. So make sure you tune in.
All right, right after 292. Thanks, DJ. There he is. Mighty Mouse, Demetrious Johnson. Tremendous stuff there. What insight. Oh my gosh. I mean, that was a lot more definitive than, when we spoke to him before the Moraes fight in New York and then after the Moraes fight. Sounds like a guy that unless they bring him something super interesting, he's done. And really, what else is there? Right? Like, what else is there for him to do at this point? He's done it all. He's fought them all. Considering what he can do and who he can fight and who's at his disposal, there isn't a ton there. Him versus Funkmaster would be tremendous stuff, but we know that's not going to happen in this sport because there are, rarely co-promotions, although the UFC and one did have that very famous trade back in the day. One of the first stories that I wrote for ESPN way back when. So perhaps they have a good relationship where they'll do it. Something tells me they won't, but that would be incredible stuff.